So let's begin with one of those headlines. Enlightened Christian Gathering's church leader, Shepherd Bushiri, and his wife Mary will spend the night at home after being released on bail in the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court in Pretoria today.
The Hawks arrested them last Friday on charges of fraud, money laundering and contravention of the Prevention of Organised Crime Act. This is in relation to exchange control regulations involving foreign currency amounting to 15 million rand. The charges date back to 2015.
Jubilation and celebrations as the Bushiris are released. After spending 5 nights in police custody, they are now free to go home. The couple, facing charges of fraud and money laundering, applied for bail amidst heavy police presence. They've been released on 100,000 rand bail each, but had to abide by a number of conditions.
2 accused before court are restricted between the 2 provinces of Gauteng and the Northwest, and whenever they need to travel outside these 2 provinces, they need to contact and get permission from the investigating officer. They've already handed their traveling documents to the state, so the court ordered that those documents remain with the state. But whenever there's a need for them to use such documents, they need to apply in writing for such documents to be released to them, and immediately after use they must be returned to the state.
They're also not supposed to make any contact with state witnesses. The state didn't oppose bail, saying Bushiri is not a flight risk, neither he is a danger to society. And for the church, it's a sigh of relief.
It's been a difficult time coping without him, so we are relieved and we're happy and we're joyous. It's something that we at least expected. We don't want to comment much on a legal process, but I'll reiterate that we believe in his innocence, and we believe that this is just but the first mountain that we're climbing, but ultimately we believe that time will find us on the right side of the law.
Bushiri's devotees showed up in their large numbers to express their unwavering support. The self-styled prophet had a brief word with them.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Love you. Love you.
I feel so happy that he's out. We've been so stressed, depressed.
Leave the prophet alone. We love you, Prophet Major One.
You can question 1 plus 1, but not 2, because 2 is the answer.
Church officials say the 2 accused will take a rest before showing up for their Friday service. They'll appear again in court on the 10th of May. Mulimo SABC News, Pretoria.
For more on that story, we speak to that reporter for the SABC, Malema Matua. Malema, thank you for being with us. Just describe the atmosphere today. We see masses of people outside the court.
Good morning, Francis. Indeed, it was very hectic today with hundreds of supporters and members of ECG Church, coming to pledge their support for their prophet, whom they affectionately call Papa or Major One, with his wife, following their arrest last week Friday. But if I can just go a little bit back, it has been this year, the start of this year has been very rough for the Bushiris and the ECG Church. When you recall that in December last year, on the 28th, there was a service in which 3 female congregants died after a stampede. That was after a heavy thunderstorm, as the church officials explained that there was a heavy thunderstorm and people now started, scattering for cover. And in the process, 3 people died and 17 others got injured. And following that, there were protests by the SANCO, whereby they were questioning, the manner in which the bodies were removed from the scene, saying that the church did not follow proper procedures, and they actually did not even inform the police when removing the bodies, and they wanted answers from Prophet Bushiri himself, or have him, taken out of the country. And the tension between the church and SANCO was then intervened by the CRL Commission, that's the watchdog that's overseeing religious practices in the country. And last week, or rather 2 weeks back, we saw the church and Prophet Bushiri, being exonerated from the incident of the 28th. But then just, soon afterwards, or rather even it was before the announcement of before the briefing, the report of the CRL Commission, we understand that at 7 o'clock in the morning on the very same day when the CRL Commission released the report, Prophet Bushiri and his wife were arrested at their hotel in Rustenburg for charges relating to fraud, money laundering, and contravention of Prevention of Organised Crime Act. So when we spoke to the Hawks spokesperson last week, he indicated that those were the three charges that were presented, but then that there was a possibility that more could be added. But today, the two, on Monday rather, they appeared after their arrest on Friday, and their case was postponed to today. And since Monday, Francis, there's been a huge number of ECG supporters, ECG members who are saying it's either Prophet Bushiri is released or they are not going to vote in this year's coming elections. And also we saw the social media platforms abuzz with the support for the Prophet himself and his wife, where people calling for his release, people saying that this is actually just a persecution because he has made it, and some people are now being jealous of him.
Yeah.
And today he was released on bail with his wife.
So the courts have a mandate to ignore all those calls and do the right thing. They have released him on bail. He will appear again in May. Like you said, he was exonerated surrounding that stampede. So does that mean in the interim, the church, the ECG church, will carry on as usual?
In the interim, Francis, the services at ECG church are going to be proceeding as normal. What we were told today is that for now, the two will just have to, given a space to rest, and probably by Friday they might conduct the service, which will be now the second this year for the church.
All right, so good news for his hordes of supporters, and they were blocking roads in Pretoria today in support of self-proclaimed prophet Shepherd Bushiri. That was SABC reporter Malema Matoa.